Happy Wednesday. How are you? The last Wednesday before Christmas. What is it, the third day of Hanukkah? Fourth day of Hanukkah? It's kind of an overwhelming time, don't you think? Are you going crazy? I know I've talked to so many florists that they're almost at their wits' end because customers are getting desperate and in their last minute, and so they're frantic, and all of a sudden it becomes your problem. It's not your problem, but you get the brunt of it. Oh my gosh, it's been quite the year. But then I'm not telling you anything, am I? I'm glad you're here with us today. Take this moment for a little respite. Take a deep breath. Drop those shoulders. Roll your neck. Breathe in. Breathe out. Just slow down for just a moment. I know we've got more time, that we've got to fill more orders and go run around and get more flowers. And then there's the frantic worry of weather. The snow is just amazing in some areas. Right now here, we're still having sunshine. It's cold. Tomorrow it's going to be bitterly cold, but it's sunny. It's beautiful. But they're telling me that we may get ice and snow later this week, Thursday, Friday. It's going to be a nightmare for those of you traveling and those of you trying to deliver flowers. It makes it pretty tricky. But now, we're inside a cozy studio. We've got the bright lights. We can pretend we're in the sunshine. You're with us. Hopefully you're comfortable, you're warm. If you're working, keep those fingers going. You can watch while you work. We've got a unique live today. Unique, you say? Yes, it's a unique one. It's a holly jolly last look at Christmas. I bought this container, I don't know, 6 weeks ago, a long time ago, and then I've never used it. I had gone to our local flower market and had taken Ricky with me so she could see where florists gather their flowers. And so Ricky and I would run around and gathered some things, and I found this pot, and I thought, ooh, we'll film this. And we never did. You know, have you done that? Where you go and you get this most wonderful thing, and then you just never get around to it. So I thought, I have to use it today. So I'm going to start with that one so that I make sure I use it. So those of you that are asking, where did it come from? It was from our local flower market. I don't know who the manufacturer is. The other thing, though, about today that makes this live unique, being the last one of the year, because we're not doing a live stream next week. We're going to take that week off in between Christmas and New Year's. So this is the last one. So I thought, well, let's get festive. So I wore my fanciest earrings, and I got out a fancy bracelet, and I put on my jewels so that I was all Christmased up and ready to go. But it's also very quiet here in the studio. Can you hear anything? Not much. It's almost like it's just you and me, but not really. Hitomi's in here with me today, and she is going to be the voice of everyone because everyone else is working remote. So Hitomi and I, we're the live team. We got it all together, and it's just kind of amazing. So if you type something in and it doesn't get answered right away, type it again. It just means we've missed it for a second. So you can just kind of say, hey, I had a question. So we've got Pantone in the studio with me. Then virtually, we've got teacher Michelle. We've got Susie. Susie's been driving through snow and dreadful roads. She's on her way to the airport, but she stopped, pulled over. She's on Wi-Fi to make sure she could join us. And then she'll continue on to the airport. The things we do to make sure we make Flower School live. Then Caledonia is with us remotely. So Caledonia, Susie, Michelle, thanks for being here. Teacher Carolyn, she's with us as well. And we have a little secret with Teacher Carolyn. She's not here in the studio. She's not even here in Portland. She's not even here in Oregon. Teacher Carolyn is being grandma. Ricky, if you have a photo to show of Teacher Carolyn's grandson, Eli. Let's let everybody see. And tell me when you see it there, let me know.
Okay. Yes.
It's up?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good. So isn't he the cutest thing ever? Oh my gosh. So now you all see Eli. So give a shout out to Teacher Carolyn, because this is probably her first live stream that she has participated in, but she has a baby on her lap. How fun is that? So now you've seen that. Then we also, let's see, who else do we have? We have Carolyn, we have Susie, we have Caledonia, we have Michelle, and then, kind of exciting, I let it slip, I just kind of skipped by. I wasn't going to tell you, I was going to say, oh, I might have a secret surprise, but I'll go ahead and tell you because it's hard to keep it quiet, and besides, he'll probably say something and then you would know. But David's in the studio with me today. He's keeping track of everything and trying to keep me in line, which you all know how well that's going to work. But David's in the studio with us today. And then for the first time, for a real live, you may have seen the test live where we were checking it out to see if it was doable. But Ricky is manning the technology from afar. She's with her family. She's already left for the holiday. And so she too is outside of the studio. So this is just one of those times that we are stretching ourselves, testing all kinds of new technology, all kinds of new techniques to communicate with you, our tulip people, with a really limited on-site staff. How funny is that? I mean, it's just, the world has changed. And if you would have asked me a year ago if this was possible, I would have told you were crazy. And I would have said, absolutely not. Florists have to be together on site. But guess what? It's working. It's going to work. So that's kind of exciting. So now I need to know who's with us. If you would make sure to introduce yourself, let us know where you're from. If you're part of the tulip people, add your icon, put the tulip in there, and then mingle amongst yourselves, greet each other. This is our social, what do we call it? We'll call it a jingle and mingle, so that we all get together, the tulip people, the last live before the holiday. So introduce yourself, and I want to know who's out and about. Pantone, do you have names yet, or is it too soon?
Yes, I've been keep tracking. So on YouTube side, we have Roxanne, Valerie, Debbie, Heidi, Barb, Tess, and of course both Teacher Caroline and Teacher Michelle are with us. And on Facebook side, we've got Scott, Jim, Robin, Marjorie, Rick, Diane, Wayne, Drake, Carl, yes, and many more to come.
I bet. So it sounds like we have many of our super tulips with us, which I'll talk about that a little bit later. I know that I've been seeing a lot of posts. The super tulips have been posting that they got their mail. You international super tulips are probably still waiting because it takes a little longer to get to you, but it's on its way, and we'll explain what exactly is a super tulip a little bit later in this hour. So glad you're here. Kind of excited to have you join us. Be sure to speak up if you've got questions. What I've done so far, as we were chatting, is just create a radial base of foliage. I've got some cedar, and I've got some Douglas fir, complete with cones. All of this came from Teacher Michelle's farmette. She harvested for us, and we kept it in the cooler, and it's still fabulous. So we just keep reusing and reusing. It's the same foliage. And then I decided that I wanted the white, but it's so striking with the green that I wanted to bring a little more white in. And so I snitched the flocked branches. You may recognize these from a previous live. Yes, they were used before, but I thought, oh, we can use those again. So I grabbed those, placed that in, and that'll add unity by bringing the white from the container up into the arrangement. Sort of a frame to it. There we go. Maybe a little bit out to the front. the solstice today too. Have you all celebrated that? I know I am. I am celebrating the solstice big time because tomorrow the days start getting a little bit longer. And that promise of spring to come, I was thinking about that. I was thinking, what's the solstice? Today's the shortest day. Yes, it is. But tomorrow starts getting a little bit longer, and it'll get a little bit brighter, and it won't be too terribly long that I'll be able to walk down outside the classroom area, and the sarcococa will be blooming. And it's so fragrant. It actually starts being fragrant the end of January. So students that come to join us in the January class, actually it starts January 9th, and you should be able to smell the sarcococa blooming. And just down the road here a little bit from the classroom, there is early blooming plum. So you'll actually see flowering plum while you're in town, which I know that sounds amazing that there would be flowering plum in January. There is. In January, February, there's one variety that blooms very, very early. Teacher Michelle had put that together in her arrangement. I thought it really belonged in mine now. I'm going to double check to see if I lined it up. I did. I wanted it to match where my emblem was, so I put it in there. Now, I also grabbed a couple snowballs, just because I love the snow. We don't have any yet. Hopefully we get some, and I know you may be tired of it where you are, and it may be creating disruption. But isn't it fun to add that little bit on there coming out? So, Teacher Carolyn, do you have Eli on your lap as you're doing this? You gotta let us know, or is he in bed asleep? I know, it's like, those little kids, they sleep all the time. That's kind of inconvenient, but maybe you can sleep on your lap. Okay, flower-wise, we just finished filming all of the Pantone Color of the Year videos that we'll have coming out next month. Viva Magenta, and these are some of the flowers that were left over from that. And if you saw the little preview live that we did as a test, Viva Magenta is red, but with just a dash of pink and a dash of blue to give it more of that magenta, but it's still pretty red. So I even did my fingernails to kind of match it. And then these are the flowers that we were using. You can see how Viva Magenta is perfect for Christmas. David, what you got going on over there?
Teacher Anna is online. Say hello.
Hey, Teacher Anna, yay, glad you could join us. The last live of the year. It's so fun to have everybody with us virtually. Never realized how virtual the world would become. And in some ways, it's made it so much closer. It makes me very happy. This is a beautiful garden rose. I believe this variety is called Darcy, and it's from florabundance.com. Florabundance provided all of the Viva Magenta flowers that we've been using, and they're holding up so well, and they're so perfect for the holidays. Look how well that one reflexed and opened out. Let me bring it around to the back side. The trick when you're working with Viva Magenta is to think about blending, because no flower is going to be perfect for the Pantone color. It's always going to be a little off. So if you take and pick a few different ones and then blend the colors, look at this spray rose, a little pinker. I think that works so well, giving it into that magenta tone. Tucking that in. Let's see, maybe place this one over here. And then bringing it through to the back. Look how many laterals are on there. Absolutely amazing. Actually too many. I'm going to take some off and save them for another arrangement, because definitely not going to waste them, but they're just a little too much for this. Okay, tell me what you got there.
Yeah, on YouTube YouTube side, Valerie said this is her first Christmas working as a florist.
So Valerie, very first Christmas, how exciting. It's a scary thing to be a first. I know we had several tulips, that this was their first year, and they were like, oh my gosh, what do I do? How do I get ready? And it's kind of scary and overwhelming. So Valerie, congratulations on your first year. Proud of you, and glad that you could join us today. Sneak out a little bit for some personal inspiration, then go back and flower some more for your people, adding a little more green. Then, if you've watched us on the Tulip Tuesdays, and like in the YouTube channel, you may have seen when we showed you how to create faux snow. There's several different ways. This faux snow was done with whipped wax and then some powdery snowflakes and then diamond dust glitter. This was done with flocking and then diamond dust glitter. But one thing that we do for snow that's just really easy and fun is just to take Crowning Glory and mist your foliage, which is going to make it last longer anyway, so it's just Crowning Glory, and then using flower food, yeah, just regular old flower food, sprinkle that over the top. And I don't know if you'll be able to see it on the camera, but it actually looks like it's been snowing, and it's just dusting it with snow, and it dries, and it stays right where it's supposed to be. That's a trick I learned from Frankie Bowling. He's a florist from out of the country, and I thought, how brilliant is that? Because we always have flower food, we always have Crowning Glory, and now you have snow. Perfect, pretty much fun. And then I also have snow all over my counter, but we won't talk about that. Maybe a little bit of alstroemeria. Alstroemeria is so incredibly long-lasting, and it too goes along with that Viva Magenta palette. So here's your first question for all of you out there in YouTube and Facebook land, and that means Pantone and David are going to have to be paying attention, see if they can catch your answers. Who is cooking for Christmas? I mean, I know you're all flowering and making things pretty, but are you cooking too? So who's cooking for Christmas? And if you are cooking, do you do Christmas Eve or Christmas? Which holiday day do you do, or do you do both of them? So I've got just a little bit of foliage, just a little bit of snow, a little bit of ornamentation. It just makes it kind of fun. It needs a tiny bit more sparkle though, don't you think? So let's grab some sparkle. Add in some faux magnolia. Carrying that gold out. A little bit over here too. Just a little bit of faux magnolia. And then this is a sparkle branch. I know glitter, sorry Jim. Isn't this great, Drake? Yeah. Kind of so thick and heavy. Then I'd have to build up the muscles for this. Should have used my bolt cutter before I came on camera. Oh well, it'll work. We'll get it out of there. I can tell you, I'm not cooking for Christmas. Not on a still. I am eating for Christmas, but I am not cooking for Christmas. So, what's happening out there? Is anybody cooking?
Yeah, on Facebook, I'd say half and a half, like people cooking versus show up and eat.
Half and half. I'm the show up and eat type. I love it. So
We have a
half and
lot
half.
of people cooking, and one person is going to the casino instead. Carl is going to the casino.
Carl's going to the casino, there will be plenty of food there, so that'll be good. Excellent. Okay, adding in the glitter now. You can see, this is our last chance to really be glittered and snowed because we'll start switching to spring here pretty darn quickly. You can see Viva Magenta, perfect for the holidays. So thanks to florabundance.com for these flowers because couldn't have done it without them. They were so kind to do that. And now you can see, let's do another one. What do you think? Do you like that one? Is that one a keeper or should I start over? Yeah, what's your thoughts? Set that one aside.
We see lots of hearts on Facebook.
Okay, so that one's a keeper, yay. Tomorrow we'll get pictures of it and post it on the Tulip People first, and then we'll put it out on the social media so that you'll be able to see good pictures of it close up, because sometimes on camera it doesn't show quite as well, so we'll get that done for you, definitely. And let's see, which one should I do next? Ooh, I know, this one's going to be my favorite. I'm liking this one here. This is a container that I love to work with. You may have seen me use it before. And then these are beads that were given to me by a friend of mine that loves sparkle and glitter just as much as I do. And I haven't used them yet. I thought, this is where they need to go. So I'm going to take them, I'm going to put them in first. Make a little bit of noise here. Some on the outside, some on the inside. Kind of noisy. This is the time that Dave would say, Leanne, do you really have to do that on camera? And instead, Ricky's sitting there going, oh, Leanne. And when I told her I was using this vase, the first thing she said was, make sure you tip it so it doesn't glare. So you guys keep it paying attention. If it starts to glare, let me know and I'll move it so that we keep it. And I got it just kind of draping. Doesn't that look fun? So it looks kind of glamorous. Then adding the water. Whoops, stay in there. I want it all falling out. There we go. Isn't that fun? It's kind of interactive. It sparkles and looks fabulous before you add anything else. Then this is Deodar Cedar. If you see me on Facebook, you probably saw that I found this bounty of treasures of a whole tree of deodar, well not the whole tree, but a big chunk of tree of deodar cedar that had broken off. And so I had to haul it home. Now most of it is going to end up going to my house because I love this stuff. But I thought, well, I'll leave some of it here for the live. So just adding that in. I like the fact that it has such nice long straight stems. It's a really easy one to work with. It's not done as much commercially, so it is one that you sort of have to find by the grace of God, a gift from Mother Nature. While I do this, anything else going on out there? Sounds quiet.
Well, it's not that quiet. You do have a lot of people ready to switch to spring already. I will tell you that.
I know, I love the holidays, but by now I'm sort of done. When you make your living doing stuff in the floral world, you start so early that by the time the event actually arrives, you're like well past it. And I know around here it's always kind of weird because we're filming Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, and Valentine's really all about the same time. And then we're ordering everything for the spring, And it's just, you forget, okay, what is? And then we're printing calendars for 23 and 24. And I'm always like, what year, what month, what day, what am I doing? And it's kind of overwhelming, I will be honest. It's like, oh my gosh, what was I thinking? But that's what makes it kind of fun. You know, it's just the way it is. Makes it fun.
Well, it's delightful that you're talking about spring, as most of the country is facing horrendous temperatures and storms.
You know, isn't it amazing how bad it is out there? I hope you all are staying safe and warm. It has been pretty dreadful from everything I have been watching. It's like, oh my goodness, how in the world? So I've taken the top off of this ornament, and I'm just gonna cut it down. And then it's got a wire on it that I can use. And then set that in. Get a little bit of a focal emphasis. I think I want it a tad bit shorter. Let's shorten it a little bit more. There we go. Just to bring up a little bit of oomph. Looks good from both sides, you can see. It's not really gonna have a front or back. I'm gonna try to keep both sides lovely so that it holds nicely. There we go.
Well, I don't know where Darlene is, but she said it's going to be 80 degrees at her place on Christmas Day.
Okay, that's pretty exciting. I know Allison is in Hawaii, so she's gonna be 80-some degrees. Darlene, I believe, is in Hawaii as well, if I remember correctly, but I might be wrong. I know Florida is not going to be 80 degrees. Florida is actually going to be down below freezing in parts, which is really dreadful for the foliage industry because, you know, the ferneries there, they don't like it to be below freezing. That's just kind of scary. Look at that rose. I don't know the name, don't ask, but it is stunning. It was a Florabundance variety, and I just think it is just so beautiful. It opened and it's holding fabulously. So just again, setting it down in, tucking it. And the stems just sort of disappear into all the baubles, which makes that kind of fun. Put that there, turning. Let's just see
Well,
if it
Renee
has
said coldest Christmas predicted in 20 years in Western New York.
Turn it just a little bit more, you have a glare.
Whoops, yeah, that's good. Okay, there we go. Yeah, the East Coast is supposed to be hitting smack hard, and our friends in Montana, we were looking and chatting with them, and temperatures like 25 below, 40 below. I mean, it's like unheard of. Like, I just don't think so. That's not my thing. I'm not loving it. So what do you think of this? What else should I put in there? Maybe a little bit of butterfly ranunculus. That could be fun in there. Give a little bit of movement up over the top.
I'm going to hit it right now.
Oh. Just to give a little bit of movement. That one's broken. Oh no, we're gonna use that one. We need things that aren't broken. There we go.
We had a little camera glitch, but it's fixed now, people.
Yay! So if you lost us, we could pretend that it was your TV or your phone or something. But reality is we had a little camera glitch, but it's all taken care of now. Thank you to Ricky and David. Yay! Just keep us live, keep us going. Don't let us go dead. So of all the things that you have created for the holiday, here's your next question. We talked about who's cooking. Now my question is, of all the things that you created, what gave you the greatest
Got it.
satisfaction? Was it a tree? Was it a wreath? Was it an arrangement? What made you go, oh, I love that. It was the best thing I ever made. What floats your boat? So everybody, think about it. What did you make that was your most favorite of the year? We all make things sometimes that we don't love so much, but once in a while we get to make something that we truly, truly adore, and it gives us such joy. So for you, what was the thing that gave you the greatest joy this year? I'll give you a few minutes to think about that.
It's interesting, we had color bars show up, and we have people on our live, who are old enough to remember color bars on the TVs in the old days.
Isn't that funny? Oh my gosh. As much as things change, they stay the same. The butterfly ranunculus are just perfect. You know, and I feel like they look so fragile, and so I took some home just to see how they would hold, and they are still sitting on my kitchen counter right by the sink, so that when I do dishes, I'm looking at them because I love them. And they have been, hey Tommy, do you remember, did you get these prepped last Tuesday, was it that you prepped? So these are 8 days old, and now these have been in our flower cooler, but the ones in my kitchen have been in my kitchen, and they still look beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. So really, they are a long laster. If they break, now that's not so long lasting, but they really hold up well. So I'm going to stop on that one. I may fuss with it a little bit later, but what do you think? Do you like that one? So we'll take votes. Which one you like the best? The white one or the jeweled one? We've got more to come though. So let me set this one aside.
You're getting lots of hearts on that arrangement.
That one was liked. It was doable. They'll accept it.
But I don't know which one's the most popular yet.
Okay, well, we're not done yet, so maybe it'll be something that I haven't done yet, but all of a sudden that's the one. So I'm gonna get a little bit more foliage out here, and this is the Douglas fir. I'm gonna prep it ahead a bit. Let's see here. And go ahead and do it as more of a hand tie, I think, on this one. A lot of people think that Christmas can't be hand ties, but the reality is hand ties work so well for so many things, and it's so much faster. And the mechanics are relatively easy. You know, in class we teach the hand tie from the very first week. I mean, it's at the very beginning. If you're online, it's in Basic Floral Design 1. If you're in the classroom, don't remember what day it is, but we start you that very first week with it because we know that that is a technique that you're going to use over and over and over again. And so we want you to be comfortable with it because it's kind of hard when you're first learning. At the beginning, it's a little tricky, but then all of a sudden it just flows and you're like, oh yeah, I got that. I can do that. How come did I think it was hard? That's so easy. And it kind of becomes the go-to. So we know what my favorite arrangement was yet from people?
We don't know yet.
Okay, so if you haven't typed it in, what was your favorite creation this holiday season? Be thinking about that. I would like to know. And then I have a couple of things I want to share with you. One, Ricky, I think you have a picture of a parade float. And if you could put the parade float up on the screen.
And it is up.
Okay, so this is the Kaiser float that's going to be in the Rose Parade. Normally it's on New Year's Day, but this year since that's Sunday, it's going to be on Monday, January 2nd. And I know David and I will be watching. And many of our floral friends will be there, and several are actually working on this particular float. So look closely, see that heart? The back of it has that big heart. Take a look, it's a red heart. Okay, Ricky, go ahead and bring it back to me. They've seen it, that's all they get to see.
And the people in the picture were life size.
That is true, yes. Okay, those weren't miniature little peoples, those were real peoples. So I know the people that are directing the building of that float. It's one of the Fiesta floats, and many of our tulip people are actually working for Fiesta and working on floats. And so I have sort of the inside scoop. But that one, I will tell you, well no, let's start with, because I know how many carnations are in that heart. Yeah, because they have to predetermine, because they have to make sure that they have enough blooms. So first question for you, let's go. How many carnations does it take to cover that red heart that you saw in the picture? Ricky, put the picture up one more time in case somebody wants to count. Yeah, that's going to happen.
And the picture's up.
Okay, so look closely and then put your guess in. How many carnations to cover that heart? And yes, it is two-sided, front and back, and it is three-dimensional, so it's front, back, and sides. So yes, those of you that have had advanced floral design know how to calculate your coverage when you learn to count the number of flowers that you need for an orb. So take a look, okay, picture back to me.
So Renee says 50,000.
Okay, so we got 50,000.
And Jody McLeod, who should be able to estimate this, says 30,000.
30,000, okay, 50,000, 30,000.
And Robin Rice, who might know something, says 55,627.
55,627. That's pretty specific. Okay, nobody's got it right yet. So.
Oh, but Jody just corrected himself. He said, oh, two sides, 125,000.
125,000, okay. Well, no, you guys are still wrong. No. So now I've prepped my flowers. Carnations just kind of fanned out. And again, think about Viva Magenta. It's the blend. So those of you that are working with clients that are planning parties or weddings or any type of event where they want that Pantone color of the year, Viva Magenta, your trick is to always think about the blend. Don't try to match perfectly, because you can't. It's not going to happen. But using bright red ranunculus, red carnation, spray roses that lean to that magenta, I mean that's like perfect. And maybe even the pinker spray rose, when you get that blend in there, it all just works better. So I've got things prepped out, and I think I'm doing this for Christmas because this is our last jingle and mingle, holly jolly for the holidays, but this will be a fabulous mix for Valentine's Day. I think it's going to be a hot seller. The customer is going to adore it. And as a florist, I kind of like it because I know I can get a lot of flowers in these colors, so I don't have to panic of, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? I don't know if I can do that. Because yes, you can.
So, Leanne, you have a lot of people waiting. How many carnations?
Okay. Well, I can tell you the answer because this isn't going to be the quiz that comes up on the next slide. On the next slide, the question is going to be how many hours did it take to assemble, which we won't know that until they get it done. So I don't have that, but that's going to be the question that I ask on January 4th in the live stream on that Wednesday. So you guys guessed high, which I was surprised because I thought you would guess low. But according to the director for that particular float, they're estimating 20,000 red carnations will cover that heart. So 20,000. So those that were on the 50 side, if they need 50,000, they're gonna run out. They're gonna have a problem. And so I'll be curious to see when it's actually done. I'm gonna be checking in with Laurel and say, okay, Laurel, how many did it really take? And how many man hours did it take to assemble? So you guys can start thinking about that, because January 4th, that's going to be the question of the live, is how many man hours to cover the heart in the float for the Kaiser float. And then on Monday, January 2nd, I invite you to join me watching the parade to see it going down. What is it, Colorado Avenue, I think that it goes down? And we all go, oh, I know who did that. Laura Halopiter is directing that, and I can't remember who's assisting him. He has one assistant that is the lead. I can't remember, but Laurel is the head of it, and he's going to be keeping track of the hours on that so that we can all be aware. What do you think? Do you like that? Just a simple hand tie, but how perfect. And don't you think for Valentine's Day that would be a fave? I think they would love it. Maybe add in a little bit of the Alstroemeria. I'm giving it a turn again. And just by going a mix like this, the added bonus when you're working this way is that if something isn't available come Valentine's Day, it's okay because you've been doing a variety of things. Now our next class, we start on January 9th. Oh my gosh, that's gonna be here before we know it. January 9th is the next class, and I believe I have 3 spots left, so if you wanna join us, you can be working by Valentine's Day because we graduate February 4th. So you could go to flower school from January 9th to February 4th, get your full certification, get your FDI certified floral designer title, get your FDI certified gold lapel pen, be ready to roll if you want to go on for CFD testing with the American Institute of Floral Designers, and be working either for yourself, maybe selling flowers to your friends and family, or working in a flower shop on Valentine's Day, creating beauty like this. And now that you've seen it on live, you know you can do it. And that's why you have to go to flower school, because there's a little more to it than that. It's a little bit of skill, maybe a lot of skill, but you know, that's what we do, is we teach you how to do it. So join us in the classroom, or you can join us online. If you want to do it online, you can do it right now. Give yourself the Christmas gift of education. Invest in your very own self, because you're worth it. And then begin a fabulous career in the new year. And I know many of you know we were doing a gift promotion this month that expires on December 30th. And that is that if you use a special code, you can save $100. Now, when I was prepping, I actually thought I was going to do this with floral netting, and so I scrunched up my netting and I set that down in, and I was like, no. I did it as a hand tie instead.
So we put the special code up. Did you want to mention that again?
Well, good. So Ricky's ahead of me there. I was just going to say, hey, Ricky, I know you have the code. Will you put it up there? Yeah. So you can see it on your screen. The code is gift for you, and you can use it as many times as you want. It's not limited. It automatically removes $100 from any class, be it online or in person. It can be used for the certification course. So if you want to take the full basic floral design, become a certified floral designer, do basic, save $100. Do advanced, save $100. If you've already done that, we still have a gift for you. You can use that same code and put it onto the wedding bouquet, flowers to carry, or the flowers to wear, or the new ceremony course. All of those qualify. Or maybe you want to do it just as a test. Do I want to do this? Maybe you didn't want the full certification. The Wedding Flower Boot Camp, Floral Design Fundamentals, $100 off. I mean, that's a huge value on those because they're inexpensive to begin with, and then you save $100. Ooh, baby, what a deal. You know, you're worth it.
You're getting lots of hearts and likes on that hand tie.
Do you like that one? You know what? This is kind of me. This is the type of thing that I love. And you can see how easy it was to put together. And then if they decide they want to spend more money, add more flowers. Make it bigger. If they want to spend less money, make a smaller one. You can do it in any container, red or pink. See that? Viva Magenta is, in my opinion, one of the most flower-friendly colors that we've had in a very long time. And I think it's going to be popular with the consumer. It's perfect for Christmas with the evergreens, and it's perfect for Valentine's. Maybe instead of evergreens, bringing in a variety of different eucalyptus. I can even just set some in so you can see the eucalyptus would be fabulous in here. So let's do a recap. I've got one more arrangement I want to do, but let's do a recap real quick while we've got maybe new people here that weren't with us at the beginning. First off, this is our last live stream of the year. We will not be here next week. So make sure you introduce and chat with your friends now. Connect, make friends, community, collaboration, all those things that we love. So we're not going to be here next week, okay? Don't forget that. We will have a live stream playlist available to you if you want to kind of recap the year and look at what's happened in this last year and kind of speculate as to what's going to happen next year. You can go through the playlist. And a little secret for you, if you go to the playlist and you start a video, and if you look at that little gear shift on the lower corner, it's on your right side, I believe, the little corner there, there's a little gear. If you click that, you can adjust the speed, and you can watch me twice as fast, and I will talk really, really fast, and you can see more really, really quickly, which is really kind of fun, because when you're trying to see a whole bunch of stuff, it makes it all go faster. So our 60-minute live takes 30 minutes. Did you know that? Pretty cool trick. So now you all learned something new on Flower School Live. But look, the seeded eucalyptus just makes that fabulous. So I like that. So now you have 3 designs to vote later. So we've got the white with the Christmas tree on the front. And then we have the vase with all the baubles and beads. And then we have the hand tie. I'll bring them all up in a little bit so you can see. But I have one more that I wanted to create just because it makes me happy. And for those of us that make our living selling flowers, you always want things that you can do quickly and easily. And I filled most of these with water already, so I'm kind of pretending and faking to add more water. Okay, I'll just be honest, there's water in there and I'm not going to fill and make a mess here right now. But you need things that you can do quick and fast and easy. And you need things that you can do where you use up all those little leftovers, the bits and pieces that would end up in the garbage otherwise, but all of a sudden, they're beautiful because they're not leftover garbage now. Now they are individual blooms that are exotic and fabulous, and this is your profit. That's the most important thing I hope that you take away from this. This is how you create your profit. A, you're selling a vessel, so you've got that profitability, and then you're selling flowers that were broken, that maybe would have ended up in the garbage, and now all of a sudden have great value to them. Okay? If you wanted to make it look seasonally specific, Don't you hate this? I thought it was so bad that it was the best, so I had to buy it. I thought it was the tackiest little thing. It made me think of being a little kid with the little feather trees and such. But it's so bad, but it looks so great tucked in there. I mean, it's just like, oh my gosh. So it says, it's Christmas time in the city. La 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 la, just what you need. I know I don't sing. That's not my skill either. But such is life. We can't all be perfect at everything, and my failing is cooking and singing. Those are my two worst failings, so it could be worse, I suppose. Another fun flower that works with that Viva Magenta, and it brings in the yellow. This is a Gloriosa lily, and this, I don't think I have any, no, these are all the reddish, but the Gloriosa lily actually comes in a true magenta as well, that pink, and I used it in the video that we filmed that you'll be seeing next month. But the Gloriosa has that beautiful color, and look how spectacular it works into this little arrangement, just making it look more special. Let's shorten that one a little bit, there we go. They're such a unique blossom, the way they fold backwards on themselves. Just looks great. Now, the other thing I said I would chat about when I started today, I said, oh, we've got so much to talk about. And I said we would talk about super tulips. Well, actually, the most I'm going to do with super tulips is actually going to occur on January 4th. We're going to celebrate super tulips during the live on January 4th. And we'll also talk about the float. See, make sure you get your vote as to how many man hours to cover the heart. But the super tulips, you may have been seeing the posts that have been coming out. A lot of people were posting a Christmas ornament that was a tulip. I don't think, sure, but it will hang right on there and make lots of noise and make everybody cranky, but it'll be perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and pin it on here.
While you're doing that, Scott has a good question. Has anyone booked a magenta wedding yet?
Good question. So, question for all of you, YouTube and Facebook. Has anyone booked a magenta, Viva Magenta wedding palette yet? I think it's going to be popular. And one of the things that's so great about it is you can take that muted blush palette that's been so popular for so long that we're all sort of tired of it, and just update it a little bit with the magenta popped into it. It's fabulous. One of our videos we did that too. So this was this year's super tulip ornament. This was last year's, which was the silver snowflake. So some of you had both of them. Last year we did, I want to say not quite 100. I think we had 100 ordered, but we ended up shipping out like 98 or 97 super tulips. And this year we planned for another 100 because that was sort of my goal, is that we'll always have 100 super tulips. And who is a super tulip? Super tulips are the people that really help Floral Design Institute and their peers, their fellow tulips, thrive. So they respond to your posts, they'll give you advice, they'll tell you, oh, isn't that lovely, they'll give you a thumbs up. Same thing that we ask you to do for us. You know, if you like, it's good. If you thumbs up, it's good. If you share the post, if you tag a friend. And that's what super tulips do. They're constantly helping us with the thumbs up, the sharing, the liking, the tagging. And then when a fellow tulip says, hey, it's my first casket spray and I'm scared, any advice? They are the first ones in that say, you can do this. Try this, you got it, not a problem, you can do this. I know you can do it. And then they'll sit there and be your cheerleader to make sure that you do it well and that it does work out the way you wanted it to. Anyway, so the super tulips are those special people. And we'll be talking about them and celebrating them on January 4th. If you are not a super tulip, join us and you can find out more about how to become one. If you are a super tulip, thank you, because we couldn't do it without you, period. You are the people that keep us blooming, and you are the people that connect the community, and that's so important. And without you, we wouldn't have the vital community that we do have. And so it's really, really, really important to me to say thank you to you. And that's why we send out the tulip ornaments. This year, I told you, my goal was 100 again, just as last year. But when we sat and made the list, 100 wasn't enough. I'm looking, I need a couple more flowers. I'm trying to decide what I want. 100 wasn't enough. We ended up short. And so this year we did 125 because there were 125 of you. We couldn't cut back. It was like, no, this person deserves it. We've got to send it. So instead of 100, we have 125 super tulips this year. And the goal will be that we keep 100 to 125 every year. And we'll see. Maybe next year it'll be more because, again, I won't be able to say, oh, no, I can't not send that. But if yours isn't there yet, it's simply because it's still in the mail. If you're not a super tulip, then I invite you to join us in promoting education, join us in supporting the floral community, and become a super tulip, because we'd love to have you join us. Doesn't that look great? So I've got Gloriosa, Carnation, Ranunculus, Garden Rose, Spray Rose, my dorky little Christmas tree. It's all the leftovers, things that might have ended up in the garbage. Now granted, I was cutting down things, but you saw I saved my short flowers earlier, and those are what I brought back over to add in. So it's a very profitable arrangement, and it's fast and easy, and that's what we all need. So back to the recap. Super Tulips on January 4th. Kaiser Float, watch it with me, January 2nd. Look for all the Fiesta Parade floats. Those have so many of our tulip people decorating them and flowering them. So you can see the gift for you. Put that back up for a second, Ricky. If you want to take a class, sign up by December 30th, save $100. Hey, we all need $100. And then if you think Carolyn's the perfect grandma and Eli's the cutest kid ever, let her know, because I think she is. And a huge thank you to Hitomi and Mr. Kessler. I think it's been 3 years, and those of you that have been with me since the very beginning, I'm going to grab some arrangements and put them up here, because we've got to do a vote. And get ready to vote, people. Are you ready? This is it, the final hurrah. Get ready to vote, and we'll see what the final consensus is. We have 4 to choose from. A little more than normal. It's like, oh my gosh, Leanne got carried away. She was having way too much fun. So we've got that one. My coffee cup's in the way. We'll move that. We've got this little guy with the super tulip, and we have the hand tie. Okay, so you have 4 to choose from. And I'm gonna swap out and put it this way. So you have to say which one is your favorite. And we'll say, is it the white one? Is it the one with the baubles? Is it the hand tie? Is it the gold? You choose. Put it in there. Let us know. And after 3 years, yes, finally, it's been so long, we got the boy back on camera, and it's a Merry Christmas to you. From both of us.
Merry Christmas.
Enjoy.
Happy New Year.
And see you in January.
See you in January.
Love it. Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining us. We love you, and get out there and do something you love. Bye-bye.